I hope you're well and having a lovely day. Please can you write the date and the title, Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 4. For your do now, we'll be reviewing Act 1, Scene 3. Please could you complete the line, "So something I have not seen." Write down a quotation that indicates the witches are ugly. What titles does Macbeth hold at the start of the scene? Why does Macbeth find it hard to believe he will be made Thane of Cawdor? Complete the line, "All hail Macbeth, thou shalt." Complete the line, said to Banquo, "Thou shalt get kings." Which character informs Macbeth that he will be made Thane of Cawdor? And Banquo says to Macbeth, "Look how our partner's wrapped." What does that mean? Pause the video to complete this do now. So answer to 1, "So fair and foul a day I have not seen." What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it? You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so. Thane of Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, although he does not know it yet. He believes the Thane of Cawdor is still alive. All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king thereafter. Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. And Ross. He means Macbeth is speechless and spellbound by what the witches have said. So make sure you have the correct answers written down in your books. So what is ambition? What do we learn about Macbeth in Act 1, Scene 4? Those are the big questions we'll be considering today. In this scene you'll meet King Macbeth, Banquo, Duncan and Malcolm. King Duncan praises Macbeth greatly and tells him he wishes to visit his castle at Inverness. Duncan also announces that when he dies, Malcolm shall inherit the throne. Macbeth volunteers to travel ahead and prepare to receive the king. He reflects to himself that his ambition to be king is hindered by Malcolm's new status. So comprehension questions. Please could you read through the questions and answer them in your books. And now please could you sum up your understanding of the scene in no more than 5 sentences. Okay, the answers are on the screen now, so please can you go through each comprehension question and check you've got the correct answer written down in your book. Okay, so now we're going to think about Macbeth's outward appearance. So the service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Duncan tells Macbeth that he is owed a great reward for his service. What does Macbeth say is a worthy reward? And our duties are to your throne and state. So what is Macbeth saying about where his duties and his honour lie? Children and servants which do but what they should. So what is Macbeth comparing his duties to here and why? By doing everything safe toward your love and honour. What do the words love and honour suggest, and what are their connotations? Remember, connotations means associations, ideas or words or phrases that are linked. Pause the video, please, to answer the following questions, reflecting on this key passage. How is Macbeth presenting himself to King Duncan? So he's saying he's being able to serve Duncan is a reward in itself. His duty is to the king and country. Being a child or a servant, doing as instructed without question. They do not think about following Duncan as a choice, but it's inbuilt to do so. And love suggests the familial affection Macbeth has to Duncan as his cousin. Honour is connected with ideas of what it was to be a man or soldier, doing the right thing and following the chivalric code. Please pause the video to make sure you have these points written down. Although he's presenting himself as dutiful and honourable servant to Duncan, how is Macbeth really feeling? So what I'd like you to do is read through the passage and the questions and have a go at answering them in your book. So he doesn't want to be heard by anyone else. He's aware he's saying something traitorous. Malcolm, Prince of Cumberland, is in the way. He can either be blocked by this or overstep this obstacle in some way. He doesn't want the stars to see what he's thinking of doing. He wants darkness so he can hide from it too. His desire is his ambition to become king. He knows this is traitorous. The adjectives heighten the dark, evil nature of the thought. What is Macbeth's tragic flaw? What is it about his personality that will lead to his downfall? Macbeth knows he needs to kill the king. How do you think he's feeling at this point in the play? Explain your ideas in full sentences. The audience know Macbeth is planning to kill the king. How do you think they feel about him? Pause the video to answer these questions. So Macbeth is ambitious and greedy for power. His desire for this power above his duty to the king will lead to his downfall, as he assumes everyone else also feels this way and will want to take the power from him. He feels conflicted. He has presented himself as a dutiful servant and yet knows that to get what he wants there are things in the way. He doesn't want to admit it to himself yet, but he is aware dark deeds will be needed. And the audience see Macbeth present himself one way to the king, whilst we also get to see his asides and what he's really thinking. We are intrigued to see his journey. We might feel sympathy for the innocent and unaware Duncan, and horror at what Macbeth is planning. So please pause the video to make sure you've written this down. So what is ambition? Ambition is what? Please complete that sentence. What do we learn about Macbeth in Act 1, Scene 4? Although Macbeth is initially presented as brave by the captain in Act 1, Scene 2, we learn here that Macbeth is, and again complete the sentence. Pause the video for 1 or 2 minutes to do that now. So ambition is a strong desire to do or achieve something, Macbeth's tragic flaw, and he is also fearful about what might be involved. He doesn't want to see the dark things that will be necessary. Let the eye wink at the hand, because he knows Duncan is a good man. We also see Macbeth can be duplicitous, two-faced, as he presents himself to Duncan as a dutiful servant, while he contemplates how he might get his position and what stands in his way. What I'd like you to do is read through the original and modern version of this key passage and answer the questions on the slide. Pause the video to do that now. Please feel free to read through the key passage and the modern translation and answer the questions on the slide. And that is the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for your hard work. I hope you found it interesting, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.